minutes, and I told him, well, it's easier to get forgiveness than it is permission. Right. So let me get set up here for a second. I just got done with finals, and I'm going to sleep as much as I can over the next couple of days. But I'm going to be around for a few more hours. I got another poem after this. This is a compilation of two of my favorite poems, and I don't know, I guess Dr. O'Donnell, this is one of your favorites. I don't know, you've encouraged me to work on this over the last year and a half or so. So, this is called These Last Days of Humanity. And this is the probably third version of this I've done so far. Consumerism was just the beginning. A consumed galaxy, the epitome. Portability, high resolution, dizzying. Attention capturing, ringing. Birds chirping, vanishing. Four legs running, rumor has seen. Blue oceans, memory. Clear water, damned. Ceased flowing. Sunlight is our mythology. This story of our legacy, our captivity, like Genesis and our friend Adam and his wife Eve, stuck in a gated community in the beginning. These last days of humanity spent fighting over the dust and debris of our species' genes. The definition of being's been twisted by creating recycled souls, meshing flesh with machinery, proclaiming, I am infinity, and mocking death's lingering, declaring nature is tyranny, and originality is forgery, veins pulsing of wiring, requiring smoke for breathing, but essentially performing and functioning flawlessly, thoughtlessly abandoning the mistakings of aging and memory, depriving of the sensory, sense degrading, purifying, harmonizing, emotional conquering, abolishing, altering, and erasing former histories and future potentialities, existing, equaling slavery. Serving the mentality, mandatory for psychologically carving out territory, polluting, abusing, colluding, making necessity of artificial wombs for pre-made babies. Bastard factories recreating flawless facsimile, mass production, mothering, reproduction programming, organics mixed with fast-fix ceramics, soul-free chassis come into being. Screaming, live streaming, viewing physicality remotely, unison impression experiencing, expressions synchronizing, coalescing hourly, upgrading and refreshing our collective psyche. Blank smooth frames of designer breeding, tabula rasa man-machine, DNA data mates, cyber technology, science empirically outperforming, defeating, evolution's playing, manipulating, building, bettering, atoms, synthesized bodies still cooling, God sweating in his garden, brooding, pruning his trees and grave digging, aborting for eternity every soul, reformatted a highly mobile schematic featuring nanites, robotics, advanced biology, streamlining symmetry of faces and features torn away, eyes and ears cheaply exchanged, cold steel snares our mouths became, poured plastics formed to anatomical norms, hallucinations of horrors, quickening, force-feeding newborns. No concept of families left to mourn, these cheap products of conquest quick sent to war. Through filtered breathing and static scratched scenes, reveling and revealing blackened skies and acid seas, graduating siege to firebombing, escalating to space-based weaponry, and finally parading infantry through rubble, smoking, choking, all resistance redirected, craftily dissected, populations passively accepting of the gleaming projections from digital screens, rendered seamlessly. Psychosomatic criminality, subliminally weaving the string of lies worth nothing, least of all believing. Tribal genocide euphemized as triviality, an act of mercy. Policy echoing vaguely over shadow ops, political puppetry, and loss of sovereignty. Bottom line, border toppling, constructing the utopian parking lot for democracy. a commodifying commercial hierarchy, enabling corporatocracy, transnational entities, quasi-competing, while conditioning citizenry for military servicing, plotting the apocalypse, while blessing the ascendancy of big red buttons, triggering their bidding, crippling, discomforting, backwards ergonomically, achieving uniformity via weakening bodies and minds, absently lacking identity, purchasing the discounted brands of men and society. Our misery media controlling mainstream reality, shouting down naturality and loyalty to familial tendencies, the ownership of industry easily attaining full spectrum brain training of thoughts and time taking, a ticking binary prophecy, the singularity, supremacy, a mind bomb making insurgency, speaking your piece becomes condemning, a violation of zoning, no sanctuary for radical dreaming, impossibility of repenting from the responsibility of respecting our manufactured conditionality, the illusion of prosperity, the elite guiding philosophy hinging on a certainty of ignorance and apathy, simplicity underwriting their authority, a cadence akin to singing hymns while rioting, sleepwalking and death marching from BC to AD into eternity. So suddenly, there's gassing and tasing, cracking skulls and caging, but animalistically we're masked. We are obeying masked thuggery, flag drapery, shielded subduing, survival of the fittest fantasy when unmanned guns go live, firing. Supersonic bullet snaps, synapses, psychopathic police state mathematics, figuring a possibility of terror, conspiracy in every person or thing standing, striking, all revolting, suppression surpassing artistry when guiding the morality, values, and worldviews, regulating, dictating the how and why, the intake of calories, the size of family, and the consumption of energy. Hell, even suicide is taxing, coming complete with fees and a termination policy. We still think we're free and paradoxically controlling of our destinies, contradictorily chasing artificial selves, seeking and dying for debt money. Idealism and ideology's the fallen king, the bagman left holding all the worthless paper and useless musings of pretentious thieves and imperial economies. The races divided collectively, the black and white side simply pretending the various shades of living. Religions dying, kept fasting and fighting for magic lightning to strike and cleanse the wounds of sin. Fools and blasphemy, frightening, foreshadowing of tyranny, approaching, while most were ignoring the walls, braille splattering, dried, bloody writing, having been taught to forget reading, martyrs only, hearing the dead sheep bleeding. Our own natural selves and senses disappearing, co-opted by CEOs, politicos, and rabbit holes, tumbling down, descending. All our human medium is fading, corrupted by wiring and microscopic soldering. God's eye still burning, turning surface earth to a searing hellfire and nuclear scarring. The only message we're sending, receiving, that life is truth, was muted, then made a scheme as transhumanist visionaries replaced all things with perfected forms, perfected meanings, reverting to researching what the fascists were rehearsing. Eugenics becomes compulsory, abbreviating, redacting, scrapping, language editing, reducing words to screams of infancy and brevity. Computers fulfilling all of your conversational needs. Conceptualizing of the heavenly deemed unseemly and obscene. Faith seemed dirty and was scoured clean, sanitizing insanity. Blind men, temporarily you are the kings, but in this totality of equality, our unifying reality, our dissonant legacy of terrorizing, then civilizing, this overriding intellectuality equating to blindly worshiping of a superclass and their technology, all your progeny will be made to see these last days of humanity.